Another hurdle has to be overcome because, of course, the final pact in Germany has to be voted on by the SPD. And it wasn't plain sailing over the weekend, was it?
No, it wasn't. It was a very close vote. And again, you know, the Social Democrats are very worried that in the past, forming a coalition has not boded well for them in subsequent elections. So they're very concerned that this will erode their support domestically. But, of course, their alternative is not very good either, going back to the polls. So it seems possible, depending on how those talks end up, and even likely that it will pass, but it's not clean sailing. It's very important to Germany. Europe needs Germany back in the leadership role, needs it strong, but it remains complicated.
Julian, we talked about the muted market reaction. You gave some lovely stats when it came to the shutdown. Give us the equivalent for Germany. Why do markets need a government, a coalition government, ASAP?
Well, I think it's fair to say that, in all honesty, what is likely to come out of this grand coalition is the fact that Germany will be more inward-looking. And so, consequently, as much as Europe needs the leadership, it will probably get less leadership from Angela Merkel in this parliamentary session than previously. So I think from a market perspective, we think a deal was always going to be done, but it would probably be not the ideal deal.
Julian, I think euro actually rose a little bit on the back of, hope that this 4-month stalemate will come to an end. At what point does the euro become too high for the rest of Europe? Maybe Germany can take it, but can France and Italy?
No, you're absolutely right, Francine. I don't think that either France or Italy are particularly keen on further strengthening the euro, and I'm sure that there will be from the ECB efforts to try and talk it down. But as always with a currency, it's not necessarily the strength of one, it's the weakness of the other, isn't it? And particularly against the dollar. The dollar has been weak, and Trump talked a lot about seeing a lower dollar, and probably by a bit of luck he's managed to achieve that. And I think the Americans will be very keen to keep the dollar fairly weak. And so consequently the euro will remain fairly robust, as will the yen, I think, particularly as we see tightening in monetary policy this year from the ECB.